This will probably be the quickest review on The Batman you've watched yet. Matt Reeves' Batman touches on three important things that I think every Batman movie has failed since Michael Keaton. I think it's interesting how we say the Michael Keaton Batman, Christopher Nolan, now Robert Pattinson. We kind of skip over the whole George Clooney, Val Kilmer Batmans, but that's okay, we will. The black eyeliner, we have to discuss it. Everyone's seen it, everyone knows it is an inconsistency, one of those continuity errors where there's black eyeliner and then they take the cowl off and there's no black eyeliner, even in the Batfleck Batman. So I've always thought that Batman, we should see Batman in kind of like his Rambo, not the George Clooney, Val Kilmer, like putting on the gloves thing, but just a real quick montage of him just putting on war paint and going to fight crime. I love that Matt Reeves left the black eyeliner in this. When he takes his cowl off, you see that his eyes are still painted black. It's fantastic. The second thing, he's the world's greatest detective, Batman is, and so it was really good and refreshing to see him actually be a detective in this film. And the third thing, the Riddler being a serial killer. I've always thought the Riddler should be a serial killer. He leaves a calling card kind of thing, leaves a riddle. That's just the hallmark of a serial killer. And I think Paul Dano pulled off the Riddler just like Heath Ledger pulled off the Joker. It was phenomenal. The cinematography in this film was amazing. They used anamorphic lenses, which means everything's kind of in focus, kind of right here in the center, and then it all kind of falls off on the edges. And every shot was a masterpiece. They used a lot of lamps. I'm in my studio, so I've got lamps. They used a lot of ambient light, a lot of ambers and blues and greens and purples. It was just beautiful. Every scene is a light painting. It was wonderful, wonderful to look at. So, yeah, if you haven't seen Batman, I do not recommend it for children. They pummel the mess out of each other. The Riddler does some pretty sick things to people as a serial killer, because, I mean, if you're going to be a serial killer, you should be a serial killer, not just... I mean, if you're going to be a serial killer, don't do it halfway. He delivers as a serial killer. The plot is great. On a scale from 1 to 10, I would give it a 9.5. There were some things there at the end I wasn't quite convinced on, the whole everybody cramming into the stadium kind of thing, but I enjoyed it. It's great. It's beautifully shot. I don't think there's a ton of CGI in the film. Spoiler alert, the Joker makes an appearance at the very end of Batman. It's just his silhouette as he and the Riddler are talking in the adjoining cells in Arkham. It's also a brand new twist on Bruce Wayne. He's not the playboy, flashy playboy. He's the recluse who's been out fighting crime and doesn't have time for a day job. The film is actually set to be sort of a film noir. It actually opens with, on Thursday, October 31st, it was a dark and stormy night when she walked into my office. I knew then we had great things in common. Riddler Green. I am burning up. It's hot in here. It's supposed to rain today. So that's my Batman review. Matt Reeves, great job, great cinematography, black eyeliner addressed, world's greatest detective, the Riddler being a serial killer. Paul Dano, great job. I love that they didn't choose some chisel-faced person to be like, Paul Dano's got a baby face, and I like that. He's kind of just this ordinary guy, ordinary kid, grows up. I'm gonna get the man back. The Penguin, I'm really glad that Colin Farrell did not put on all that weight, that it was mostly prosthetics, but man, the prosthetics these days are getting phenomenal. They're just great. Like, it looks like he gained all that weight to play the Riddler. Falcone is in this movie. There might be talk of a young Robin in this movie. There's a couple of scenes where a couple of people could be, 1 or 2 or 3 of the different iterations of Robin. Let's see here. Yeah. There was a girl in it who kind of looks like Catwoman, but they never called her Catwoman, so I don't know. Zoe Kravitz did an amazing job as Catwoman. I think that's it. Yeah, I loved it. It's great. It's entertaining. Just the undertones in the humor, it's like serious humor in the dialogue. You see some of it in the trailer. You got a lot of cats. Have a thing about strays. So anyway, I like that Pattinson really didn't change his voice when he was Bruce Wayne to Batman. He was just real kind of just melancholy. I never really understood why in the Christian Bale when he was growling the whole time, but he was also talking in that gravelly voice to Alfred. Like people that knew that he was Batman, you didn't just type in your name. So I do like that they somewhat address this in this film as well. So I love all these kind of new superhero movies. They're kind of grounded in reality. Like this could happen. I mean, Batman doesn't have superpowers, so it could happen. And even in year 2, he's got scars on his back. He's like, you can already tell this guy's getting worn out from fighting crime. So he's a masked vigilante. I love it. Anyway, that's my Batman review. Hope you guys get to go see it. Again, I do not recommend it for anyone under 17, 15. I don't know. There's violence. There's language. They pummel each other to death. People get shot. Another thing I wanted to mention, and I believe if I'm remembering correctly, just hitting on the 3 main Batmans, Keaton, Nolan, and this one, because we leave the other 2 out. That I think in the very first Michael Keaton Batman, he says, "I'm Batman," and then in Christopher Nolan, he says, "I'm Justice," and in this one, we finally get, him saying, "I'm Vengeance." So, which is cool, because he moves from vengeance to justice. So there's that. He's kind of figuring out who he is and what his role is here in the city, besides just beating the crap out of criminals. So he goes from vengeance to realizing that it should be more about justice than vengeance. So I'm grateful you're here. Thanks for watching, and I will see y'all later. Bye. Coffee. I would say it's a good mix, but it's just black coffee. There's nothing really mixed in with it. By the way, Riddler green, it should be a color. Magnolia or Bear or any of the other Glidden. Riddler green or whatever. This is green. So, all right, see ya.